Now, joining us for the latest in technology and consumerism is Dr. Vili Abraham from the Technology Marketing Department at Sapir Academic College. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Now, Facebook has been named, the latest issues with Facebook have been named the metric mess. What do we know about it, and what are we seeing? Is it affecting Facebook right now?
Well, first of all, we do know that there were a lot of metric, inaccuracies back in September. It was about, how many people are seeing videos that are longer than 3 seconds. Now it's, how many people are reading a complete article. What is the reach? I mean, they underestimated the reach. So there are a lot of difficulties right now. And I think that in the short run, it will affect its image because marketing managers want to know the effectiveness of their budget. But in the long term, I don't think it will have an effect because Facebook actually came out and said, look, we admit it, we've checked it, and we know what the problem is, and we're going to correct it.
Certainly,
so
an example of them handling the controversy well, it seems.
Yeah, very well.
Now, on another technology point, WhatsApp is launching video calling tomorrow, I understand. Now, how does this work with consumer privacy rights and issues?
Well, first of all, we do know that they are encrypted. So when you have a video-to-video conference, they will be encrypted because of concerns over Trump's, surveillance, possible regulation in the past. But this comes in the backdrop of encrypted messages and phone calls at the beginning of the year. So they're encrypting the messages so as to satisfy consumers who are concerned about privacy issues.
Now, apart from privacy issues, this is a huge step for WhatsApp. This is a big expansion for them. Should some of their competitors like Skype be concerned now that perhaps their market is being taken over?
Well, I would say so. I mean, if we look at the number of people who have used Skype sometime in their lifetime, it's 560,000, which is nothing to the amount of users that you have, the WhatsApp users, which is more than 1 billion. If you look at the number of people who've used video-to-video conferences using Skype, it's only 40%. So WhatsApp makes it much more convenient because you're using it. You're connected to various networks, so it's really convenient. And yes, it's a serious threat to Skype and other providers.
Certainly. Now, also another issue in technology, another new development, perhaps that's a better way to say it. Now, we know Google Photos came out with a new app that lets you turn your old photos into digital prints. What was the thought behind this? Why did they do it?
Well, I must say that I did download this today because
what was your first impression?
Well, it's really user-friendly, and it works like this. You put an old picture on the desk, and you hold your phone over it. And as soon as you click on the button, it takes a photo. It takes a photograph,
a photo of
the photo, and then 4 dots appear. And what you have to do is you have to move your phone over the 4 dots. Once you've done that, your picture is scanned, and it's really easy. And the idea is really there are a lot of people who have old pictures in their wardrobe of parents or grandparents, and they want to digitize it. So this is one of the ideas behind it. And they also want to encourage more people to use Google Photos, which is in serious competition with Apple and Facebook.
Now, you mentioned also taking old photos of parents and grandparents, perhaps, and putting them into a digital form. Do you think this also is a grab at the older generation, perhaps, to use Google Photos?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I really think so because people have a lot of photographs which have not been digitized. So it really turns to the older generation, but mostly to the newer generation, which is more, computer savvy and etc.
Now, I know I'm driving it home on this Google photo thing, but it's very interesting to me because it seems like this is something that's been lacking so far. We know we have Apple Photos, but it's something a bit different. With Google Photos, do you think that we could also see an impact on archiving, in a sense, in digitalizing things that people want to perhaps create their own family archive, family tree, that sort of thing?
Yes, I really think so. It will meet that need because, for example, yesterday I've spoken to a friend and I told him about this great app, and he said, it's great. I have so many pictures of my grandparents and parents, and I really want to create something that would be like a family tree. So that's definitely one of the things, yeah.
Now, on another technology note, we know that Airbnb has launched a new trip service. What is this?
Well, it's really fascinating. First of all, it's really an ingenious idea because it really targets the millennials. And when millennials go out, they want to experience the local culture. And what you can do now is when you rent an apartment, it's not only that you get an apartment and you go out and you explore it yourself, you're able to hire the services of people who know the city well. So, for example, if you want to go visit Nelson Mandela's prison cell, you just don't walk around yourself. You'll have a warden who was there looking after him to explain what was happening while he was in prison. And the same thing with different communities in India or in the Far East. You would have native people who would walk around with you and give you a tour for a fee. And this will also soothe concerns by local communities, because when people rent an apartment, Airbnb apartment, people are concerned because they say we'll have people coming in, and a quiet community becomes very loud, etc. But now they can make money off of it. So this is really, really good for Airbnb, which has suffered a lot of aggression from different governments. And
certainly,
opposition.
It looks like a way perhaps to solve these issues they've been facing. Thank you so much for those technology updates, Dr. Abraham.
It's a pleasure.